All right, so Logic Pro, more tips and tutorials. I'm gonna try to deconstruct and recreate this beat. It's a nice stepper reggae beat. So first I'm gonna put play, see how it sounds. All right, so that's the beat. Now let's erase it and start from zero. First thing to do before that, file, save as stepper beat, new, save. So now I can erase all these, right? I'm gonna draw them all so I actually can explain the rhythm and you can visually see what I'm doing instead of playing it. But I always have a open audio track because every time I'm actually coming with music parts, mainly it's using the guitar, and then I can translate it to other instruments like piano or bass or so on. So there is always an audio track open, right? So now I'm gonna erase them all. And first, let's see the session, what's going on before I even start thinking about music. So for drums, reggae drums, I actually have a drum kit from Logic, a really basic drum kit, right? Now, really important, when you open a drum kit, you wanna go for the multi-output option. So when you go to the mixer, you have this plus button, and you actually can create all the tracks from the drum kit: kick in, kick out, snare, snare bottom, hi hat, etc. You press the plus sign, and all the channels will appear. So all of these are my drums. Now, another really important thing, some nice library tips. Once you create your sound, for example, I add compressors and there's some reverbs and everything, you can always go to the library, put save. In this case, I create a folder, click new folder, I create a folder called Stepper Drums, and then I create reggae drums, put save. And then I can just go to my library, go to user patches, and actually enter my drums without going through the process again, right? So it's a really nice way to use the library. You create your patch, get all your drums sounding, then save it to the library, and then you get the reggae drums, and then everything's gonna appear how it is right now. Another nice tip for libraries, some people don't know about, and whenever I open a preset, for example, I think this reggae pad, it was a preset, came from the EXS24. At the end, I put a plugin that was not part of Logic, so then I changed the sound and I save it as my reggae pad, right? The only thing about using plugin presets from the library is that most of the time when you load a preset, it comes with sends, all right? There is a bus they already create, bus 1 and bus 2, like a reverb delay, and then you open another one, you have more reverbs and delays. So actually you can go here to this option, put enable patch merging, and take the sends away. This way, every time you open a preset, automatically Logic is not going to create you any more sends. So you're not going to have send 1, send 2, and that's gonna give you more CPU power. So really nice library tip there. All right, so library away. So now drum kit. I use the basic Logic drums, right? Really, most important part about reggae music, you can actually pick whatever kick you want and prefer what sounds better for you. But the most important thing is to actually mute the ambient microphones. So you see where it says leak, overhead, room. Here I went off, off, off to all of them. You don't want to have the ambience microphones for a reggae drum. Same for toms. Toms, I actually, again, ambience microphones, I pick up the pawn shop. I tune them really high, I damp them a lot, and I put some gain. But again, the most important part is this. For the snare, most of the same. I put the muted brass, a lot of damp, some gain, ambience microphones muted. Now the dampen is where the magic is. If I take the dampen away, 82%, this is gonna sound more like a rock drum snare. Right, and then I put 82% back, and sounds more reggae. And I got some modern bright, again overheads and room microphone off. And for the cymbals, you want to have some overheads here. It's nice to have some ambience for cymbals and dampen it a little bit. So that's my drum sound. What else do I have? I have some compression on the kick, mild compression, some classic EQ, filter 400 area, the low mids, a little bump, and it's a classic uh, curve for kick. Some compression for the snare too, for the hi-hats, cut a lot of lows, classic. I could actually raise the highs a little bit, right? Then what do I have for? Then I created just two sends. I have one spring reverb, really nice for reggae, and the preset is this one. It's large spaces, spring reverbs, and rack spring flood. You're gonna see how nice this effect works with the snare, especially for reggae. And my other one is a tape delay playing an eighth note, eighth dotted delay, and this is also really important when creating a pattern for drums. So that's the sound. I got the drum kit, I got two sends, that is just a spring reverb and a tape delay, playing a dotted eighth, some compression and EQ on kick, some compression on snare, and some EQ on hi-hat. And I put some Verb 2 on the toms. That's it, easy. So now let's draw some drums. Reggae drums. Create empty MIDI region. I'm gonna grab just one bar. Right, so first of all, I'm gonna go to my brush tool. So here, pick up the brush tool. And where's the hi-hat close? Hi-hat close here. So I'm gonna just draw, grid 16 notes. I'm just gonna draw 16 notes here. So this is stepper beat now. So I'm gonna make some space in between just to see the gap. And then I'm gonna select every other hi-hat. And I'm gonna bring the velocity down to around 40, 43, right? So we have this. Now for the kicks. Where's the kick? Here is the kick. Something really important about the kicks. Right now, first of all, my tempo of this track is 68 BPM, right? But actually that's not how I feel reggae. I will actually feel it in 132, double the tempo, right? And every kick, actually, I will feel it in the quarter note, not in the eighth note. But the reason I use eighth notes is a little bit more clean for me to produce in half the time. Right now, I draw the kicks every eighth note, but it's actually, I feel it every quarter note. Right? So far I have this. I will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So the hi-hats will actually be eighth notes and the kick will actually be quarter notes. That's how I will feel it. Now for the snare, side stick. Right now I'm putting it in the 2, right? And the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But actually you'll feel it 1, 2, pa, 4, 2, 1, 2, pa in the 3. But again, for production ideas, I prefer to use it in halftime. So it will sound like this now. Right? So that's what I have so far. Now, let's check that. First of all, that's the reverb, right? Really reggae, nice. So again, large spaces, spring reverbs, rack spring flat. Now I'm gonna mute the reverb because I wanna bring that 16 note, 8 dotted 8 delay here. So now listen what the dotted 8 does to the snare. Ka, 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 ka. Let's put more. Ka, 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 ka. So I actually have a snare laying here. And that's a classic Finn drummers do, especially in these kind of rhythms. Right? They will do this. Right? So now I can turn off that delay. Because the delay was mainly for you to see that every dotted 8 after the snare, there's a classic hit that a drummer will do, and I'm gonna bring back the reverb. So I have this now. Right, what else I wanna do here? I'm gonna grab the grid, put it in 32 notes, and I'm gonna actually play two open hi-hats, two 32 note hi-hats here. So alright, so now I got a beat there. I'm gonna double it, and I'm gonna do a little variation in the snare here. So now I have these. Boom, boom, ka-ka. I'm gonna go back to 16 notes. I wanna put that ka-ka. Boom, 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 ka-ka here. Right? Now it will be nice to have these. So actually 32 notes before that kick will be nice. So I go back to 32, the Greek, and here TP. So I think I got the part. I can play a little bit with the velocities here. Maybe this one bring a little bit down. This one too. This one too. This one too. And then here, I'm gonna use open hi-hat. So now I got my main beats. This hi-hat has way too much velocity. You wanna feel it more than. This one can have way more power. All right. That was not nice. So that's my pattern. I'm gonna join this, pressing the letter J, and now I got my drums. Now for the second pattern, I'm gonna do a classic reggae thing reggae drummers do. Right, so here. That's a classic thing drummers do. So that will be here. Wait, here. Open hi-hat. We need hi-hat open, and probably here. Put it. Let's unmute these ones. Put it. So. I think it will be here. Put it. There we go. So it was there. Right now, the thing about the open hi-hat is that it has way too much release, right? And a nice way to take the release out is by putting a note after the. So it's the first time I do with this, so bear with me. So I put a note after the open hi-hat in the hi-hat foot close, right? So this thing is gonna cancel a little bit the release. You wanna put it with the velocity really down so you actually don't hear it, but you feel like there is a foot close in there. So maybe a little bit more. A little bit more. Right, that works. So I have now this in this part. And now for the last bar, I'm gonna create a little drum fill. So I'm gonna delete this bar, and here I'm gonna put an open hi-hat. Velocity higher. And then I want a snare that goes. So let me draw here some snare. I'm gonna roll into that downbeat. There we go. That's the roll. And then let's put some toms. Let's put some toms. Where are the toms? Let's see how that sounds. Puruka kum 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 kum. Maybe like this. Nice. So that works. Now I'm gonna bring the velocities down a little bit here. This one stronger. Okay, so alright, so I think I have the drum beat. Right, so it's gonna be a 4-bar loop, but here you could actually double it and put a crash in the one. So you have this. Hopefully that was not recorded in the audio. There you go. So drums, that was drums. Now let's try bass. Create empty MIDI region. Now for the bass, I was actually using the guitar. I came with the idea of playing the guitar. So it was like this. Right? So the idea was boom, 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 beep, beep, boom, right? And that's 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and 1, 2, 3. Not even that. I'm feeling it. So if I would be feeling it in quarter notes, I would be like that. But because I'm writing in half time, it will be 1 and 2 and a 4E and 1 and 2 and a 4E and I'm in the key of A. Why not? So let's try to draw that. So T pen A. Now for the sound of the bass, first of all, classic ES24, right? I pick up the preset. What beats preset? Thumb stroke bass. Then I open a bass amp, classic Logic amp. Big Stack is called. It's really nice. Just push the lows a lot. So I'm gonna bring the grid back to 16 notes. And this was like this. Boo, boo, boo. Right? Cara, cara, ram. Kun, kun, kun. Okay, now I go down to E. G. Do, D, D. E. So that's the main part. These ones I'm gonna extend it to 8th notes. Right, so alright, so now I'm just gonna double this here. Join. And then I'm gonna put 2 extra bars. And then for the second part I went doo-ding, doo-dum, doom. And what I'm doing there is A, T, P, A, doo-ding, 5th, 2E. C, doo-ding, doo-dum. A, like this, let's see. Doo-ding, dee-dum, ding. And I'm gonna extend this note. Now, for this part here, because it's a little bit busy, instead of playing to 16 notes, I'm gonna play to 8th notes. So. And then in the end, I'm gonna play the same line. Here, but I'm gonna bring this part an octave higher. Right, so. Right, no, that's the bass line. Now what I do here is I double it and I add a bass of trillion. It's a great amp, right? I went to bass instruments, Chapman stick, full range. And together with the drums it's like this now. I think it's an octave too high now. Definitely, this is an octave too high. So, there we go. Alright, so that was bass, easy. Now, piano. Chords are just no. A minor and E minor all the time. Every 2 beats. Again, the chords also lay for me in the 2 and the 4 when I feel reggae, but in this case, because I'm in halftime, it's gonna be in the ands. So I'm doing a first inversion C major, no, A minor. So I'm gonna start in C. Then from C I'm gonna go to E. And then I'm gonna go as a first inversion A minor. Quarter notes to have a little more staccato. Sorry, 16 notes. And then from here I'm gonna go to, I drop this note to high note to G, this stays in E, this goes to B. So now I have the stacks, chops. Want a little bit more staccato. Now for this I'm using EXS24, Steinway Piano 2, some EQ and compression. I'm using this one, but you know I'm boosting the highs a lot. And this one, CLA Unplugged, it's a nice one. I think big Oz, and I put 2 reverbs and a slap delay. And there is some vitamin to add more stereo thing. Bring the stereo a little bit wider. So now here comes option 2 for the piano. That is actually the M1 of Korg. It's a classic sound for reggae, especially for keys. So here I have piano sound. Let's see how this sounds. I think this guy needs to go an octave higher. Let's see, because that's too low. That's classic reggae right there. Maybe let me blend this one with the M1. Alright, and then to finish, a little pad, empty MIDI region, and here I'm gonna just, again the same chords, but I'm gonna do different inversions. Now I'm gonna do root position A, so I'm gonna grab the A, octave lower of course, I wanna get in the range of the C4 or C3, so I'm gonna go A1, 2, C2, and 2E2. Maybe that's too low. Here. That's a nice octave. And for E, I'm gonna do second inversion E. Or no, root position E2, why not? So I'm gonna go to E3. G3 and B. Let's bring the velocities down because pads shouldn't be that strong. So, I made a mistake. So it's 2 bars or 2 beats each chord, not 2 bars. So balance a little bit. Nice. One thing that is bothering me that I forgot to do. Usually bass players, they play really high on the neck with a lot of gain, but actually really soft touch. So here the velocities are way too strong for this bass. So what I'm gonna do is select them all, bring the velocities really down to 68, something like that. Here the same. 68. Now it's gonna feel more reggae. So really higher. So now I have the beat. The only thing I need to do is play the guitar with it. Sounds like this. So yeah, that's it. Nice way to create a reggae beat from zero.